hope you all are doing great. Well, today I'm back with the request of making a content for class 5. I will be following the book Footprints, followed by the CBSE curriculum across the country. So, I'm taking up the first chapter, that is the Earth's surface. So, we will deal with how people were unaware about the Earth's surface till a very long period of time, right? So, we will see that till the 16th century, until and unless the Renaissance in Europe happened, people used to believe that Earth was having a flat surface. As we all know, it is the third planet that rotates on its own axis and revolves the sun like all other planets. But due to the presence of atmosphere, land, and much needed water, it is called a unique planet. So till the 16th century, people were unaware of some very crucial facts about the Earth's surface. So it was the famous Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan in the year 1519 who started a westward journey across the globe, and he started to rediscover and discover different continents along with a few of his men. So it took long years for him to cover certain portions of the earth, but ultimately he was able to understand that Earth was not a flat land, but it is actually shaped like an orange, or to be very precise, the shape of the Earth is oblate spheroid. So it is actually flattened at both the poles and it has bulge near the equator. And we have the oceans that surround us. Because of the predominance of the 3/4 portion of water, Earth is called the blue planet, because from the space it looks blue. And that's the reason it calls also the unique planet. So without wasting any time, let's start and take a sneak peek into the chapter about the different continents and the route that the famous Portuguese navigator, the Magellan, followed. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So children, in due course, we will see how the revolutionary journey or venture undertaken by the Portuguese sailor or navigator Ferdinand Magellan in the year 1519 proved to be beneficial for the countrymen. Then in Europe, the people started to believe that the earth is not a flat surface but a spherical ball. Okay? And then the different theories regarding the formation of the earth's surface came into being, among which the most popular one was the continental drift theory. Now, from the name you can understand that it talks about the continents that have been drifted apart. So, it is clearly stated that in the theory it was stated that the earth or the face of the earth that we see today, or the position or location of the continents were not the same as it is today. So previously all the continents were together in the form of a supercontinent which was called Pangaea. Okay, and it was fitted in a particular puzzle form which was also called the jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so the different climatologists, the different geographers, they have studied the different parts of the continents which were fitted together, and it was seen that the floral, faunal species were found to be common in those areas. So it was called Pangaea, or the supercontinent, and about 200 million years ago the Pangaea broke into two parts, namely Gondwana land and Laurasia. So actually the history of the earth is too old, and from its formation till today it is being constantly formed, and the data are modifying and changing. That is why earth is so fascinating, right? So now we will see about the different continents and oceans. Children, I would request you to understand the chapter more than only to read a chapter for the sake of getting good marks. Alright? You should know the facts. Later, you should concentrate on earning the marks, okay? Or getting good marks. Of course, it's important, but more important is to have a sound knowledge about what you are studying in the chapter. So first we will start from the continents. So as the navigators or the travelers found out that there are different continents and they have certain positions, right? So after the theory of the continental drift, it was confirmed that there are different positions or different hemispheres in which the different continents are located. All right. So in this regard, we know that already that Asia is the largest continent and occupies 1/3 of the world's total area. All right. It has got two most populous countries in the world. First is India and the second is China. Okay. On the basis of its population or the area, second comes Africa. Africa is also a land of the native people, and it's full of varieties, full of diversities. It is full of beauties. So I would request you to go through, if you are connected to the National Geographic, if you are connected to Animal Planet, please go through the different episodes they feature on this particular continent, Africa. It is not only mysterious but beautiful. Okay, so it is the second largest continent in the world, and to mark its geographical territory, it has towards its north lie the Mediterranean Sea, towards the east Indian Ocean, and to the west the Atlantic Ocean. All right, it is home to the Sahara Desert. We all know, the largest hot desert in the world, and also it has the longest river, the Nile River, and Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest mountain in Africa. So here in the chapter, we are highlighting upon the special features of every continent, so that you need to whenever there will be a question from GK, you don't lag behind. You get to know the continent with their special feature. Third comes North America, which is the third largest continent in the world. It is bordered by the Arctic Ocean. In this case, you will surely need the atlas. So always refer to an atlas when you are studying physical geography. What is physical geography? The geography which deals with the country, the landforms or the physical features of the Earth's surface. The Atlantic Ocean in the east and the Pacific Ocean in the west. It has the high mountains such as the Rockies and the Great Lakes such as the large lakes called the Great Lakes. Okay, they are the group of 5 freshwater lakes: Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, Ontario. These are the 5 Great Lakes region in USA. Okay, and they are well connected. They are the main channels for inland transport, let me tell you. So they play a great role, a vital role in inland transport, easing the inland transport of the particular continent. Next comes the southern after we come across the North America, then we have, of course, Europe. It is the 6th largest continent in terms of size, and Europe, along with Asia, called Eurasia, and it has formed the longest stretch of the land on Earth. Okay, so one of the most developed countries in the world, like the UK or the United Kingdom, France, are part of Europe. Okay, so it has also played a vital role in shaping the European history or the medieval history. It has been the center of art, culture, literature, architecture, everything. So it was a hub of everything that later on the other parts of the continents have adopted. Okay, so whatever romantic poems you read, or you read the proses about the different authors, mostly they belong to England or UK. Okay, so from this particular continent they belong to. Alright, next we are coming to Australia. It is the smallest one, and it is actually an island and surrounded by water on all the sides. Australia is famous for Great Australian Desert and the Great Barrier Reef. Okay, it is actually formed from the dead corals or the polyps, or the dead this is the dead organism, and reef is generally formed by their bodies. Okay, all right. Next we coming to the oceans. We all know that we have 5 oceans, that is the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. So these form a variety of marine life, and to be precise, Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean, which has several deep trench ridges inside like on the ocean floor. And next we have the Atlantic Ocean, which has a shape like S, the English alphabet S. Okay, and it is one of the busiest international trade route. Atlantic Ocean has been the busiest international trade route. On both sides of the Atlantic there are various marine fisheries center, and a lot of fresh catches every day we get, or rather the whole world gets from there, because it is the breeding ground for most of the marine animals. All right, and near the Newfoundland, if you see the map, you will be able to understand, or I'm sorry, not the Newfoundland, near the Greenland, that portion we also have, in this ocean we have a lot of hot currents and the warm currents or the cold currents. So when they meet, that particular area becomes the breeding ground for the fishes. So a lot of fish catch is gained or obtained from both the sides of the Atlantic. Then we have the Southern Ocean. Then we have the Arctic Ocean, which is almost frozen. Both of them are almost frozen, and the ice melts to form large icebergs and they float, and the floating islands. So if you have seen the like the different in different geographic channel, if you have seen, then you must have understood that how they float, and when the global temperature rises, there is a sharp increase in the temperature, and the snow or the big glaciers starts melting. So it is quite alarming for the nature aspect, because if they start melting, then the water level will rise, and if the water level rises, then the continents will get submerged, because the continents are all floating over the oceans. So what do we have to do? We need to be careful. We need to use things which are environment friendly. We should not pollute our environment, and we have to limit our usage of polluting agents, air polluting agents to be precise, so that they do not pollute our environment or the upper atmosphere. All right, children. So with this note, I really hope I'm being able to give you a brief summary of the chapter. I hope you like it. If you like it, please comment and let me know. Share the channel, like the video, and tell me if you want to know more. All right, I'll be back with some other content the next day. Till then, take care. Bye bye.